Urbek City Builder Review. This video game is a city builder. It's called Urbek. I love this game. It's really good. First of all, when I first started playing it, you know those logic puzzle games where you build something next to something and it has like a certain points? It's kind of like that. It is a city builder. It's a great city builder, has a very big map. However, it's not the type of game where I would say the focus is on being creative or being on designing. It's more about following rules. So what happens is after a while, you're going through all the rules and you follow all the rules, and it's kind of boring because you want to do a little bit of design. You want to put something down where you want to put it down, but you can't because the rule says you have to build it next to another building or something like that. So I don't like those restrictions. It looks, you might say, well, it doesn't have traffic. So that's one of the aspects about the game. It's an intermediate city builder. But I'm going to say it's intermediate advanced because there's a resource queue and it's a little bit difficult to play. Because what's going to happen is you're going to play and then you're going to run out of food and you want to grow more food, but you need more workers, but then you need more workers and you need more food. So you're going to come up with this complicated system. And I'm going to tell you, which you might guess, the food has to come first, not the workers. So it's going to be a little bit difficult doing some of the tasks. You're going to run out of electricity, so you can't build a building, but then you can't build a power plant because you don't have workers, and the workers need to live in a building. So you have to upgrade an existing building, but you can't build that because you need electricity to build the building to do the upgrade. So it is a little bit complicated. Don't be afraid of the game. I'm glad that I bought it. Over here it says one or more food within a 6 radius. So what you would do is you would find the food service, and there's not that many, but it's got to kind of be over here. So I'm going to have to take something down that already exists and put in the food building. I'm going to look at some buildings. They can upgrade. The upgrades are pretty good. There's production. This is 14 employees. Consumption, 12. Food, 1 electricity. It shows you what it needs to do the upgrade. The upgrades are kind of automatic, but they do take a little bit of time. When it's ready to upgrade, they don't all upgrade at identically the same time. You can see they're upgraded one by one. It shows how many residents, but keep in mind you might upgrade and have fewer residents, which means that you have fewer employees because you did an upgrade, which means there's fewer people making food, which means you're going to produce less food. Things like that can happen. So is it challenging? Yes, I've been playing video games since the 1970s. I love city builders more than anything else. This game is a bit challenging. You can place any building. Every building is placed by you. All the roads, 100% are placed by you. The trees grow, but maybe we'll find some of the new trees. They grow kind of slowly, and you can accidentally cut all the trees down. It's possible. Okay, over here there's some new trees. I'm going to show you where they are. I think you can see them. They're right here. Sometimes you will see people walking around. Sometimes you'll see a vehicle walking around. It's actually kind of rare. Some of the aspects of the game, like laying down bus stops, is a little hard because you're not sure where the existing bus stops are. Because you can place one right next to another. Not true with the metro stations. There is everything that's typical in a city builder. You have education, you have the hospitals, you have food, you have entertainment, you have the sports, you've got the small building, you have the larger building. Some of the buildings can be upgraded, not every building. Some industrial buildings, like you got a coal mine and a coal pit, need to be built next to each other. This is an iron mine. The iron is very limited in supply. Uh, and I probably put down to have a bigger supply. So you're going to have issues with supplies of raw materials. They are unlimited over time, but for each turn, you're need. I haven't even used half the map. I'm nearing half the map. I'm struggling with the iron. The iron is right here. I'm at 90% of my capacity. So there's going to be a little bit of a struggle to figure out how I can go and redo some of the buildings to improve. This is what some of the farming is. There's two types of farming. One are the orchards, and one are the regular farms. I'm going to show you the solar power plant because I'm here. This is what the solar power and the wind power looks like. My regular farms are going to be over here. You can mix them together, but the pollution from some of the buildings in the regular farming is going to cause problems for your orchards. You can knock any tree down you want. This is a little industrial area. You have to build some of the industrial areas. See, over here is the iron. You have to build some of them nearby. There is different type of terrain. There is weather effects. Over here, I never look at these, but it's things like sports and recreation and leisure. And this over here is all the buildings. You kind of have to look at this once in a while because if you have a shortage, you have to check to figure out. Often it's because you build something that is putting you over. It won't let you build something if you're going to go over. So sometimes you want to build something and you can't, and sometimes it's a required building, and it will say, well, you can't build the food because you don't have enough food. You know, things like that. It'll be like silly things like that. I can't think of a specific example, but once I start doing gameplay videos, you'll start to see what they are. This is transportation. It has weird stuff like security cameras, checkpoints, bicycle parking, houses, farms. This says education. Oh no. It says landmark, but this includes weird things like banking and healthcare, grocery stores. But this is education. The universities, most of this is university. You can put the buildings wherever you want as long as it's in range. I'm going to show you a university. The problem is the industry doesn't make sense. Like they'll have a coal mine, here's iron mine, but then they'll have over here, they'll have something for the iron mine, iron ore mine, open pit. So they didn't put the industries very logical. The air purifier can only be built in industrial zones, but you need it elsewhere. The parks, okay. The nightlife, culture, sports, and religion. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is going to be the universities. This is an industrial zone. If you put a warehouse next to a building, it will show you 12 or more logistics. And you have to go build the warehouses, and you can use them for other buildings. Like this also says 8 or more logistics. It's using the same warehouse. That's one of the cool features which I wish existed in more games, where you can build a building next to another building and get a bonus. Here's another example, which is the lumber camp. And the lumberjack cabin benefits from having houses next to it. I don't know where okay, this is the university. You've got the football stadium and a bunch of university buildings. It's basically this area. All the short buildings except for these apartments here. And I'm going to show you my mega university. which is, I think, over here. You'll notice there's a football stadium here, and there's another one here. There's another one here. So we've got lots of football stadiums, and there's a university campus, and there's buildings. Everything you see here is a huge university campus, with the exception of a few buildings. Okay, so that's the game. One complaint I have is that if a building is abandoned, you've got like a few seconds to see the notification. And if you don't see the notification, it's going to get lost and you're never going to see it again. You eventually, sometimes you'll come across a building that's abandoned. So that's one of the things I don't like about the game. The other one had to do with the buses. It really doesn't matter because if you put a bus station next to another bus station, it has really no impact on your life. It's like putting a bus stop next to a bus stop. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not a bus station, it's a bus stop. And this is what a fully grown neighborhood kind of looks like. It's right here. Okay, so that's the game. I absolutely love this game. I think you'll enjoy it too. I paid $6 for this game. Don't pay $50 for the game. I don't think you should pay $30 for this game. This also is the big map. And I have an old computer from 2018. It's 8,000 pass mark score with 2 graphics processors. Okay, how much should you pay? Keep it under $20, I think. What other city builders can you buy? Cities XL, SimCity, SimCity 4, City Skylines, Cities in Motion. I don't think this is my top city builder. Although I enjoyed playing it and it's cute, the problem with the lack of flexibility, you got to follow the rules or it won't let you place the piece. That I don't like. I like SimCity where you can make mistakes and then learn from it. And, well, you made a mistake. You put something where it's not going to work. Eventually, you got to figure out not to do that. That game is a little bit more fun to play. I like Cities XL. It's only like $2. City Skylines doesn't run on my computer. I recommend Transport Fever 2. I recommend Banished. I recommend Cities in Motion 2. The newest SimCity, I don't remember what it's called. It's not perfect. You can't build big cities, but there's good things about the game. And did I miss anything? I think I covered the big ones. If you're young, if you're like 18 years old, go ahead and buy the game. But if you're older and you've played every city builder, this is my first game, and once I finish the game, I have no plans on playing again. Maybe I will a year later or something like that. But I would rather go back to Cities in Motion 2. Transport Fever 2 and Rise of Industry. I think Transport Fever 2 is fun. Rise of Industry, the first version, is a difficult game, and I enjoy it because of its challenge and difficulty. This was a difficult game, okay? But it's only difficult for a few days. You're going to play it for a couple of weeks, and then you're not going to play it anymore. You're not going to go to work and say, I can't wait to go home and play Urbek. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, please post below. Don't forget to go to cheapbooks.com to search for books and textbooks.